What's going on, Mark? It is very, very good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys again. It's been, I think it's been about 6 weeks to 2 months. So
yeah, one of our longer stretches without each other.
You guys are turning into Hollywood people on me, so I'm lucky to get you here today.
Hey, we're gonna pass it forward though. We're gonna make sure all of that trickles over into what we're doing. Don't you worry. I think a lot of our viewers have missed you because you've said a lot of people have been asking where the videos are.
Yeah, when I walk into a Netka, I go out to the San Fernando Valley. If you live in Southern California, we have a thing called traffic, and it's real.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real. So I don't like getting up at 6 in the morning to try to get to somewhere for 9 o'clock for a lesson. So I go spend the night out at Winnetka 1 night a week, and 1 night a month, and I give lessons at Winnetka Bowl in the Valley, 8 hours. And as soon as I walk in the door, 9 o'clock, that place is packed. Where's the new videos, man? I've already watched all the videos twice. So Winnetka is by far, I think that's where you guys bowl lead.
Yeah, it is. That's my
You
house.
guys are quite popular there, but and it goes on. I had a gentleman from New Mexico came in, walked in just to say hi. I watch your videos. Is this where you do them? Yes, this is the Westpac Training Center. So you guys are definitely super, super popular, and I guess I'm a little part of that.
Well, we appreciate that, guys out there, and we do have a hot one coming for you. Another questions video, which we know our viewers really appreciate and love. We pull these straight from the comments for those of you out there. So if you guys have a question, please continue to leave them. We do get a lot, so we can't get to every question. The goal is to eventually, hopefully, answer most of the ones out there, but I mean, there's a lot to cover, so this is why we do this. So without further ado, we're going to dive straight into it. You ready?
Fire away.
You ready? He's always ready, guys. So the very first question from one of our viewers is, when Mark Baker mentioned about how to get your hand to the inside part of the ball that your thumb needs to hang in, can it work for two-handers?
Oh, definitely. Actually, for two-handers, I think it's easier because your thumb's not in the ball. So it's always about timing. There's a very, without going too far, there's a very specific move how your slide, your push-off leg and your hand works together. When that little move happens, it drops your hand on the inside. It's all about timing. If you're in time, the timing spot, which I teach, in my books or videos, how that slide foot gets flat in front of your head and your swing's here. Then your right leg starts. If you're right-handed, you're going to in your slide, and that right knee pushes down, that hand drops in. That's probably the easiest way to make your hand go to the inside. Just trying to make your hand go to the inside of the ball, if your timing's not good, is almost impossible, and it'll make your release really, really inconsistent. I see that the most with the bowlers. There's two groups of bowlers. The guys like me, hardcore, I've been doing this for 50 years. I just love watching people strike or struck myself. Or the people I consider the new bowler, less than 36 months of experience, pretty much learned everything off YouTube, which is great because it made our sport popular again. But the tricky part with that is the most common things on YouTube are release, release, rev rate, release, release, more rev rate, more power. So they're kind of skipping some parts. I get that is a really important part. I want to have the yo-yo release like EJ Tackett.
Of course.
Can't blame you. I mean, if I came out of retirement, I'd like my release to look like that dude's too. I mean, it might be the best release of all time, but there are some things that happen before the cool part. So working the inside of the ball two-handed. If you buy my instructional video, I have Anthony Simonson and Jason Belmonte on it, and I really spent a lot of time talking about how they bowl completely different. They have the exact same timing, so how their lower body and their swing works together is what allows your hand to stay on the inside or behind the ball. And basically what you're talking about is adding the rotation or turn much later than earlier, which involves, like if I do it early, my shoulder does it. If I do it late, my shoulder's never involved. So that's really what you're talking about, and it's a very important part of the game.
That's actually something that I've been dealing with not being able to bowl as much lately. So for any of you out there that, you may not be able to bowl as much because you get busy in your life and you're maybe going in bowling 3 games a week at your league, one league. I realized one of the tougher things for me is getting back in time. And it feels like my release is the only thing that's the problem because, like you said, it's almost impossible when your timing is off.
So when people talk about that, you used to bowl a lot, and you get used to your bowling rhythm, what I call bowling shape. Mm-hmm. Now, I know people, you don't have to be in shape to be a bowler. Well, I do know this. When COVID hit, everybody came back at a time. Yeah. Why? You didn't bowl for 2 years. It's a 14, 15, 16-pound object in your right side of your left side of your body. So when you don't bowl a lot, your legs get lazy.
Oh, yeah.
When you bowl a lot, your legs turn into bowling shape, and it's all based in your legs. Your lower body has to be ahead of your swing for the release to do what it's supposed to at the right time. All that happens is our legs stop working, our swing still goes as faster, but then you're adding that move to the ball in the wrong place.
Exactly.
So you can turn it into your toe or you can turn it at your heel. If you turn it at your heel, you lose two things. You can't be accurate and you can't have a consistent release. If you turn it at the end of the release window, about 2 or 3 inches in front of your toe, your hand can't over-rotate, and you're adding the same amount of rotation every time, your accuracy goes up, and that break point or the Baker box gets controlled, and that's where the scores are created from.
So visually, I love that you just explained it that way, because I would love for us to maybe, Pistol, as you see this, clip a video, and maybe we can get a shot of me later on, of the difference of when someone's trying to release at their heel versus their toe, because that's the window that you're talking about. I think when people hear that, it sounds like it makes sense, but then visually seeing it,
yeah, to me it's like this, whatever this knob is on your foot to about 3 inches in front, that's what I call the release window.
Yeah.
And it's the same for every one-hander in the world. Two-handers, I go from the end of the toe 6 inches in front because they got more spine tilt.
Okay.
So their hands stay on the ball a little bit longer. One-handers, our heads don't get as far down as two-handers. So if my head comes up, my release window has to start sooner. But if you really watch EJ Tackett, he might be the best I've ever seen. He's always adding the rotation at the very end of the window. So what happened was you let a guy with an extreme amount of power become accurate.
Yep.
Now he controls that break point as well as anybody, and then you put a 5 in front of that rev rate, and he's accurate. So it's not any different than when Mark Roth figured it out in the late 70s.
Yeah.
3-year run that nobody's ever had before or since. Tell EJ, unbelievable run. Now, you can't discount Belmo. He had about a 10-year run where he was giving everybody all he wanted, which is kind of funny to me that people now are like, yeah, Jason's old. I'm like, the dude was like third in money and second in points and had the most top 25s, and he won a title. A year like a guy like me, like, I'll take that year.
Anytime.
I think I had 1 year that was close. And I had a pretty good career. I'm like, that's how good he was. His bad year, people discount him, like, just about the other 80 guys on tour would have taken it, but 2 guys.
For sure.
So that release point is super important. And when you don't bowl for a while, because you feel the ball in your hand, your arm's going fast. So that's when we go back to my 70-30 rule. So when you don't bowl for a while and the legs get tired, it turns into 50-50. Yep. Well, 50-50 is inconsistent release, no target. 70-30, much different. So that's why taking a lot of time off, especially when you bowled a lot, then you stop bowling, your legs just don't want to work, man. It's just how it is.
It's funny because it doesn't even feel like it's in your legs. It feels all here.
Because you're not using them.
Exactly.
So you're using all your shoulder, and once that shoulder socket drops in, that thumb comes over the top, good luck. They better have a lot of room left and a lot of free to the right.
Yeah, so the people out there that have seen me in the last few months, they're wondering, what the hell? The ball looks good going down the lane, but it does not, the consistency for me has been tough. So,
and what happens as an athlete, you see it go wrong, so you played sports all your life like I did. What do we do? Well, I'll just try a little harder.
Yep.
And very rarely somebody says, I'm going to try harder by moving my feet quicker, but I'll slow down my swing.
Anything else?
No, I'll just manhandle this. I'm a jock. I'll just do better. Well, that never works. But that's how we are, especially as male. We're terrible at this. I'll take over. As soon as that happens, it doesn't
Forget
work.
about it. In bowling, it's a finesse. It's definitely not a muscle, the situation type of thing.
You know how you can tell who the best bowlers of all time are?
Ones that look like they're trying the least.
Measure their forearm size.
Oh.
You want to see what the Hall of Fame doesn't look like? My right forearm is still quite a bit bigger than my left forearm.
My right forearm's way bigger than my left.
So there's exceptions to the rule. There's exceptions. But by and large, so to me, if you pick Dick Weber, Don Johnson, Marshall Holman, great example now would be Pete Weber and Parker Bone. I use those two the most. 40 years, neither one really had an injury. 40 years, Parker still hasn't really fallen off more than once a year. 40 years, the guy he's been in balance.
That's crazy.
So there's no, it just swings off their arm.
Yeah.
They have great Chris Barnes, Tommy, those all these great bowlers now, EJ Tackett. Forearm size is the same. That can tell you they're using their legs more than their arm.
It's incredible.
A guy like me who was pretty athletic, liked to compete. I wasn't the best bowler. I had a pretty good career. It was all about that arm. So I struggled a lot on TV because of that.
Your right arm still looks a little bit bigger than that left one, huh?
Oh, yeah, and I don't do nothing no more. Shit, I don't even bowl. My thumb's still an inch. No matter how much I don't bowl, my thumb never goes down.
It's going to be that way.
Yeah.
Man, that's great. Well, that was a hell of a first question. I'm not gonna lie. Can you believe that was still only the first
You
question?
guys don't come see me no more.
I know. I'm sorry.
You ignore me. You're doing, Mr. Hart's got stuff going. You're in all the movies now.
We're
I'm
playing
just some
catch
lowly
up.
bowling coach.
getting
Well,
it
we're bored
together.
today. Let's go talk to Bakes.
All right, next question. So I've been told I'm a full roller, and I've been working on my release to help fix it. Do you guys have any more tips for full rollers?
That's something I don't know anything about.
Really? We stumped them, guys.
But I never threw a full roller, and full rollers were pretty much gone
Yeah.
by the time I got pretty good in the late 70s, early 80s. So the people that had full rollers got rid of them pretty much. I think Tom Smallwood ball, it doesn't look like a full roller like your hand does this thing like that. Tom's hand doesn't do it. Tom Smallwood's ball tracks like a full roller. I'm not sure of anybody else that does. So it's not, I can't
So you would say it's very rare.
I can't name 3 bowlers that have been in the training center in 4 years that threw a full roller like what a really full roller looks like. They may have tracked that way, but it's something I've never dealt with. I've never really had to change anybody from a full roller to a 3/4, what they call it.
Yeah.
That was how we talked about it, a spinner, a 3/4, full roller. I know in the 60s it was super, super effective.
Yeah.
There are a lot of great bowlers that had a full roller release.
Wow.
When the lanes, you had to play a certain spot in the lacquer and the tracks. But that's something as a coach I've never really dealt with. I've never really had a full roller come to me and try to get to a 3/4 release.
If you were to see, maybe we should do a video breaking down a video of you watching someone that is a full roller and seeing what your thoughts just initially.
I know. I want no part of it.
I'm just wondering what you would
No,
even
they
think.
do that too. They drop that thumb in and then they flip that. And I don't want no part of that because it's so much muscle memory.
Yeah.
Well, put it the other way. I've been throwing the same release all my life. You cannot make me throw a full roller.
Yeah, exactly.
So you couldn't change me to a full roller because my hands always come around it.
Exactly.
Probably too much sometimes, but my hands always come around the ball. So a full roller does the opposite. So I know I can't do it because I can't throw a backup ball.
Yeah.
I can hardly, my hand doesn't hang, that hurts my elbow, so my arm doesn't hang flat.
Yeah.
My arm hangs at an angle,
Yeah.
so my hand was always like this. So this rotation was what I like. So I like playing inside of third arrow in my life.
Sure.
Trying to do this is very, very hard for me to do. My hand doesn't, hang that way. Hangs, that hurts. There's pain right here. So for me throwing a backup ball, the amount of pain in my elbow with no ball is excruciating.
Going against the natural motion of your arm.
It's just how my arm's built, you know what I'm saying? So I've never, ever, ever been able to throw a backup ball, let alone anything else. If I try to throw a backup ball, it tends to roll over the thumb and it goes end over end.
Yeah.
And I was never, none of us, I was too having a hard time figuring out how to do it the right way, let alone these young guys figure out how to do these backup balls. Very impressive. I have a couple juniors that are amazing at it.
Yeah.
I'm not one.
Yeah, I would say then just keep trying to find a way to get comfortable.
Or what I would do, if you've been throwing a full roller for a long time, I would stay with the full roller and just get really, really good at
I
it.
was going to say, just get comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Find out where you adjust from there.
Jamal Wilkes got in the Hall of Fame throwing a spinner up there.
Crazy.
Worst release in history of basketball.
Hey,
Got about 7 titles with Lakers and UCLA Bruins. For you old people out there,
hey.
you old heads.
So next question. Should we attempt to accelerate our feet, slow down our push away, or even slow down our backswing if we're late on the timing spot? Meaning that we are already swinging the ball forwards rather than at the peak of the backswing.
See, everybody measures timing different. I don't measure timing there. I measure timing one specific place. When your slide foot gets flat in front of your head, I want the swing parallel. That's the one spot when I wrote my book, 15, 16 years ago now, there were so many good bowlers at the time, 2011, I had a thing called Bowler's Map from Ebonite. I was using it a lot. And I can tell you where I came up with my whole timing spot idea. I was on lanes 29 and 30 at Fountain Bowl, and somebody got caught in traffic. So they said they couldn't make the lesson. So I got an hour and I'm bored. So I don't know a lot about video then. I started, at that time, anybody that bowled wanted to throw it like Tommy Jones, which I would agree with. One of the greatest top 5 releases of all time, and one of the greatest guys to ever work with. Probably the easiest pro I ever worked with, Tommy Jones. He could just do anything he wanted with his body. Unbelievable. But as a coach, I was a big, big Carolyn Doran Ballard fan. I just thought she did everything right. Yeah. So it was very easy to teach her balance, her timing. So I just started going through videos and videos of those two, like, is there anything they do the same? No. Wait a minute. When their slide foot gets flat in front of their head, their swings are parallel. Now, Bowler's Mat gave you a few pros in there. I'm like, well, I'm a big fan of Doug Kent because he could always play really, really straight, or he could hook it.
Yeah.
So before he ever worked at my camp and I found out he was part of the Buffalo Mafia and all that craziness, hello, Doug. So I put Doug Kent in there. He's there. Now, at the time, the best female bowler in the world was probably Kelly Kulick. I think that was like around the time she beat Chris Barnes for the tournament champions. Sorry, Chris. But she, quite, the top 5 female bowlers of all time.
Yeah,
so I put Kelly in there. Well, guess what? All 4 of them had their foot slide in front of their head, and their swings were all parallel. So that was kind of the starting of my coaching career, because I was working a full-time job and coaching on Friday and Sunday. So I just said for the next 6 months, I'm going to make everybody get to this spot. Yeah. No matter what your problem was, I put you in time the way I saw it.
Yeah.
And then 3 months later, I quit my job, and I've been doing this for the last 16 years.
Sounds like you figured something out.
So that's how I start my first book, and I based my entire career on that. So when you're talking about things like that, I would measure there first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care
someone
because
recording or having someone record them from the side so that they can.
Yeah, if you go on my instructional video, either the DVD is no longer available. We sold those out. Like in my book, or like in the video, I use Dave Husted, Daniel McEwen, and then Chris Prather. When their slides get flat in front of their head from the side view, I always tend to film 2 lanes over from the lane I'm on. Their swings are parallel, because that'll allow, for timing, to me, is the ability to use your lower body with your swing and your core not to move to have a consistent release.
Gotcha.
Timing's about accuracy. Mm-hmm. So I would measure there, because trying to fix it where the places you're trying to fix it, I never worked. Because think of it this way. I did at one time, I was very fortunate to be able to call Tommy Jones and Chris Barnes. I worked with those guys as their coach. Well, you couldn't measure in the beginning of their approach because Tommy dropped it pretty early, and Chris didn't move it till the end of his second step. So then the old school ways of, Parker Bone, Brian Voss, David Ozio, they didn't have good timing, because those 3 guys all had perfect 14, out on 1, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with those guys' careers, obviously. Mm-hmm. But these 2 guys were the 2 best in the world at that time, and neither one did it. But when their slide foot got flat in front of their head, both their swings are in the exact same spot. Their body tilt didn't move, their head didn't move, ball by their ankle, able to manipulate it any way they want in the bottom of their swing. So my definition of timing, your lower body and your swing working together to keep your core quiet, to have a consistent release point and create accuracy, they all match that. So I've been coaching that way ever since. So if you took a virtual lesson from me and said, look at my timing, I would start there. That's pretty much where I start every video, looking at timing. If you can't get there, then I find a way to get you there.
Got you. Great explanation. Thank you. Next question. What is your pre-tournament routine the day before until the day you arrive and the start of the tournament? Well, I guess you could say what Gage maybe would do. Your coach.
Nah, Gage doesn't do what I do. Gage is the kids, man. He's way more. I think Gage is way more physically gifted than I was.
Yeah.
I was way more intense.
Yeah.
So Gage is a much nicer human being. So I'm doing a good job as a dad. He's turning into a very good bowler, excellent basketball player.
Shout out to Gage.
Very proud of my son.
Yeah.
Fun to work with. Weird him being this much taller than me. He's creeping in on 6'6". Crazy. I did things a little different back in the day because I bowled on tour. So I didn't bowl tournaments where you show up on, very rarely did that. I bowled mainly on tour. So for my preparation, we bowled a 42-game tournament on tour. So you bowl, practice session on Tuesday, 6 games in the morning, 6 games at night on Wednesday, 6 games in the morning. You made the top 24, 8 games at night, and then 8 and 8 on Friday. So my home house champion lanes, I would do that the week before. I'd show up Tuesday by myself, bowl for an hour and a half, and leave. Mm-hmm. I'd come in Wednesday morning, bowl 6 games, eat lunch, bowl 6 more. Then Thursday morning, I'd show up, bowl 6 by myself, go eat lunch, come back, bowl 8 by myself. Friday, I'd bowl 8 and 8. So when I got to the tournament the next week, I had already done my week. Mm-hmm. So I was already in the rhythm, and my record the first week on the summer, the winter tour, the summer tour, or the fall. Say I bowled 10 years on tour, so 30 times it was always the front. I think I made probably 25 finals. So my first week, I was always pretty dialed in because I would always try to do that. Not any different than you're going to play basketball. You're playing Team X. Okay, they only run zone, so I know I'm going to get my jump shot off from there, and there. Work on that. Okay, this team's going to play man to man. So I got to start in the baseline. I got to use the guy guarding me. I got to use my guy to screen him off. Mm-hmm. I'm going to catch it on the wing. I'm going to pivot out, see what kind of play running. And then by the time my senior year, I played a lot against box and ones.
Yep.
That was just no fun. But then you learn how to run the guy guarding you off the other guy in the square. Mm-hmm. You run it off to get it, then you better have a jump shot because you didn't have much time.
Box and one ended my season, junior and senior year of high school, so I definitely understand that one.
I was going to get 25. I didn't care how you guarded me.
Yeah.
My mindset was completely crazy. But box and one was definitely, I was much more tired into that game.
For sure.
I didn't have any of my best games against the box and one, but I still got mine.
I love that. You still got that 25.
But you get wired different from your dad just told you, if you don't score 25, you're really not much of a ball player. So I didn't know any different. I was 6. So I went and played some league at the Garden Grove Boys Club. One time I was 8, they kicked me out of the league. I was getting about 40. Go play with the big kids. Like, all right. So he just said 25 is your number. Just get 25. You only got to score 6 1/4. Okay, I didn't know any. I mean, I'm a kid. Exactly. What do I know? So once you start doing it and you make teams, then they kind of expect you to do that. And so most of the teams I was on we were never really any good. Yeah. So I tend to get a lot of points.
So the moral of this is practice the way you play. You know?
Yeah, the pre-tournament, I was always big on. Now, when I bowled on tour, practice session to me was basically a waste of time. Because by then, especially when I bowled on tour, the lane man was always watching the practice session. They were back there keeping notes because they were all into those weird percentages of if 15 guys were left-handed, 15% of the money should go to left-handers that week. So guys that were right-handed, we loved when Earl Anthony and Mike Albee and Steve Cook were the man. Those 3 guys, they took so much of the left-handed money, they could shut out the rest of the lefties, and those 3 dudes were so damn good, they got most of the money.
Damn.
So then when Earl retired, that was bad because now he had to spread out like 6, 7 more lefties.
Yeah.
So we didn't really have that thing where a lot of lefties made it till Earl quit. Earl was the best. So practice session to me was, are the dots in the right place and are the arrows in the right place? And can I hit the pocket and get 9? And then it became kind of a bullshit session. Yeah. You know, you find your guys, you know, Randy Pedersen, I just bust his chops all the time, or Ron Palombi or Tom Kreitz. And I never really gave Dave Hughes a hard time. He was my best friend. Yeah. But, you know, then Ferrara would go down there and trip 4s like they were going out of style, and I would give him a hard time. So practice session for me was just being part of the guys.
I feel that.
But I never really got too hung up on that. I saw too many guys that took practice session serious. So we would call winning the practice session, but that person would never make the finals.
Exactly.
So because usually what happened, if that lane man saw what you had, you didn't want him to know that you had the nuts. Yeah. So we literally had guys that were watching, and like, oh, there he is. So we would put on a 2-8-10 contest. I could leave a 2-8-10 with I could leave a 2-8-10, move my feet 2 and 1 left, move my eyes in, thumb it down, throw a little harder, stand up early, get that thumb down early so the ball's rolling wrong, just go by the spot, 2-8-10, then just give them like, really? Another week of 2-8-10s? Qualified 10th that week. The tour was a whole different ball of wax when I bowled.
Play the game. Oh, that's funny. So this next question I think is a really big one out there. Someone says, I don't get it. How do you make it hook by rolling? Can I get more context on this comment?
Well, that's more of how the ball works. Exactly. To me, that's more of me trying to tap in to the guys that design the balls. Like I'm with Storm, Hank Boomersheim, Alex Hoskins, some of the smartest guys in the room at all times.
Right here.
So
new phase 2, by the way.
Oh, that's the that is the new one with the pearl. Wow, you're special. Geez, I could throw that once and tear this tendon would be shot. So the ball has to roll on the back of the lane for it to hook. That's how the core works. I've never drilled them all in my life, so I'm probably the least qualified guy to tell you to do this. All I know is, if you think about what I do for a living, if you took it to the base level, I only do 2 things. I watch people strike, and I watch people miss. Yeah. I'm just really observant. And I love it because I don't bowl anymore, so every strike my lesson throws is basically me getting to throw a strike that day.
Yep.
So I'm very much into you bowling well.
Yeah.
So if you watch enough balls roll, especially here being very fortunate at the training center, I've got it on video, I can look at the numbers. Balls that strike, you have to have some rotation to get it down the lane if the lanes are hooking. But when the ball gets to 45 feet, it needs to be rolling forward, and that's where the ball hooks in the back. So the easiest example is EJ Tackett. I think his greatest trait is if you put a tarp at 45 feet and you didn't see what ball he was throwing or where he was playing, EJ's ball kind of looks the same the last 15 feet no matter what he's doing. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's on purpose. I'm not sure if God just reached over and went, dude, just show up on time. You're gonna be pretty good at this. Now he put in a ton of work, man. There's no easy way to get as good as he does.
From knowing him, it's from a very early age.
So obviously his dad owned a bowling center. DJ's told me some stories about the craziness he would do as a kid to bowl. He put his reps in, I know that.
For sure.
But his ability to get his ball to roll forward, because what happens is when Tommy Jones was in his prime, he could get that ball to roll forward at a certain spot, or another one who didn't have a super high rev rate, who hooked the ball much as anybody, was Wes Malott. Wes Malott could get his ball to roll at the right time. So when everybody else had out of bounds, Tommy and Wes usually had a board or 2 to the right, and it would come back. When Belmonte was in his prime, there was no out of bounds. He got his core to lay down and roll forward at the right spot. So Jason always had a board or two more right. In my era, it was Marshall Holman. And then it was Amleto Monticelli. The guys that have always had the right roll in the back of the lane have always seemed like they had a board or two farther right than everybody else. Because if I get around it and I catch oil, my ball's axis is still like this at 45 feet, it's going to keep going. The ability to get your ball laid down, and I use the Baker box and my tape to help you with that.
Exactly.
Because your ball has to kind of be rolling by that spot. So your ball's at 6, 7, 8, at 45 to 48 feet really when it keeps going. So that makes the pocket that 6 degrees of entry angle. But I think it has to roll the hook on the back.
Yeah.
If you dead roll it in the front, you better be playing right of 7 board.
Yeah.
As you get farther and farther left, you have to create rotation because in essence, you're throwing it away from the pocket.
So from saying that, it sounds like if we were, and I'm looking at the picture right now, if we were in zone 1, which is like, what, 7, 8 boards to the first board, if you were to just roll a ball straight down the lane.
That would be the least amount of rotation, most parts. That's the sports shot one that would be kind
But
of
I'm
more.
wondering, would the ball still hook?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Right, because the cover stock, the core, and you're using the lane.
Exactly.
And the reason why you want a lot of forward roll when you play out is because you're throwing it in essence at the pocket.
Yep.
It's coming off your hand end over end. So to me, it is always easier to use the pros example. So for a long time, it was Walter Ray with a red ball up 5. Well, Walter played 5 board about 45 different ways.
Yeah.
He mastered that entire, those first 7
out of the
boards,
lane.
he could just write books on how he did it. I'm pretty sure it was all touch and feel. But no matter what, Walter's rev rate was never high, but by the time it got to the back, his roll was strong. So Walter with a low rev rate always had great carry, except of course if you ask Walter Ray.
Yeah.
He always thought he didn't strike enough. He got the most wins, so maybe, the Cal Poly Pomona grad didn't do math quite so well. Walter, if you struck that much, bro, you couldn't have that bad a carry.
Couldn't have been that bad, right?
Couldn't have been that bad.
But you also see the consistencies from bowlers that don't have a high rev rate, but really are extremely accurate and get that ball to, like
Francois Lavoie would be a great example.
There's so many.
When he came here to the training center, it was like, oh, so that's what it's supposed to look like. He threw 50 shots, and on my little spec-built thing, it looked like somebody drew a pencil line.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's
It's like watching Dirk Nowitzki on a,
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's how hitting a target looks.
Exactly.
Right, so that's how that works. But yes, so now you take a guy like Tackett, who's not as probably maybe not as accurate as Francois, but he's so close that it's not that bad. But you got a 5 in front of that rev rate. But it's 5'10", 5'10", 5'10", 5'09", 5'11", 5'10". So he has the ultimate entry angle with all that forward roll. So he strikes. So yes, the farther you play left, you had to add rotation because once you're playing 4th arrow, where you naturally play a lot of rotation, that's why you don't play 7 very well.
Exactly.
Because your hand naturally comes over the top.
It wants to.
So you prefer to play, my favorite spot, sliding on 32, 33, hitting 17, 18, 19.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
We're all a creature of our favorite place or where we bowl.
Exactly.
If you bowl at a house that hooks, you're going to have rotation. If you bowl at a house that's a lot of oil and you get to play right of 10, you're going to roll it and probably drift right. You drift left because where you bowl really determines the type of bowler you turn into.
So as a two-hander, because I see a lot of my two-handed friends, I feel like struggle with coming around it a little bit too much rotation.
Yes, if they put too much on it because their rev rates are so high, the ball doesn't get going forward soon enough.
Exactly, and that's also an issue. You want the ball going through the pocket, not
Yeah, they tend to have, to me, I mean, people say all the time how much rotation they have. When I go down to the curtain here and I watch from the other end, if you watch a good one-hander, their ball kind of and it starts. Two-handers' balls roll much quicker. I think that's why they play the lanes farther up than one-handers because they've got so much more forward roll sooner that they have to get left and create angle to get their ball down the lane.
So it reads the lane a little bit earlier.
No, there's all the ball gurus in the world probably saying Baker doesn't know what he's talking about. He should stick to the coaching, and they're probably right.
Yeah, whatever. Forget them.
No, but I've never drilled a ball, but I watch balls going on. So I see it from a bowler. So I'm always going to see it.
Perspective too.
My whole coaching thing, but I'm always seeing it from a jock standpoint because I was a jock first. So I'm seeing it athletically.
Yeah.
How's your balance? Did you hit what you look? That look. People look a certain way when they throw a good. It doesn't matter what their average is. There's always a certain look to an athletic move. I see that. Then I turn it into the bowler that I was.
Yep.
Okay, how I bowl, I don't use that much anymore.
Yep.
Then I turn into a coach.
Yep.
But I never can turn it into the ball driller because I never drilled a ball in my life. So I watch ball motion from a coaching point of view and a results point of view. And I watch TV. I watch every show. I watch them all, and I'm always trying to learn something.
Yeah.
How they do it, how they play the lanes, all that kind of stuff. I'm always trying to learn. So when you watch their balls and the people that I coach, how do I mimic that? I cannot make anybody throw the ball like EJ Tackett.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody can throw the ball like EJ Tackett, but EJ. No two bowlers, both the same. But if I get my bowler's ball to roll forward where his does, and I use the same entry angle, 5'6" board at 45 feet, it may not be EJ, but on occasion it hits like his.
Yep.
And that's kind of how I do it. I can't make anybody bowl like him.
That's the Baker box right there for you.
Well, that's trying to create, that entry angle, the 6 degrees of entry angle. What can I do to help you get the results you want, depending on the style you have? I think that's where my strength as a coach lies. I'm willing to adapt, and I'm very good at finding what you're good at, not telling you what you're bad at.
That you are.
Well, you got to find what they're good at first.
Yep. And you do a very, very good job
of
spotting it quicker than most. So we got a couple more. We're going to run through these really quickly. So if you're a right-handed bowler and your favorite place is standing with your left foot on the 10 and right foot slightly back on the 8 board, where would I move when the lane starts to break down?
I need to know your target and what you left.
True.
There's no move until I see the result.
Exactly.
Because a 4-pin is completely different than a 3-6-10. It's completely different than a going away Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Because even if you leave, like say a 6-10, there's 2 different 6-10s being left by bowlers tonight in league. You throw all you have to do is watch. I'm excellent at watching bowlers. So if you throw a bowler and he stands, I don't know, for 10, I don't know where you slid.
Yeah.
Did you walk straight? If you walk right, you're bowling someone with a lot of oil.
Yeah.
There's not many people slide right at 10 in league.
No.
So if you're sliding around 20, so here are the 2 different 6-10 leaves, which would tell me to move different both times. I hit my target. Watch bowlers all the time. They get it there. It gets to the right maybe a little bit early. They know at 40 feet, oh my God, this is going through the nose.
Yep.
Because what do they do? They leave the 6-10. And they're giving it to, they throw it. Like, I got it. I'm good. I got the 6-10. They walk back. It's good. Or they throw it. It gets exactly where they want. It's a spot. They give it the step right. They give it the clenched fist, and it's 6-10s. And then like somebody shocked him with electric.
I can't believe it.
And immediately walk back to the guy on the other team. Did you see that shot? I threw that good, right? And the guy's like, I don't give a shit what you do. I hope you split every shot, bro. That's the one. So that 6-10, the guy thought he aced it because he took the step right.
Yeah.
He got to the mini clinch. What happened there?
Yeah.
I threw that perfect. Yeah. Oh, a transition in the middle of my frame. Okay, that could be true. Or the other one, it's through the nose. You're thinking it's a Greek church. Oh, the 6-10, I'm good. Yeah. Thank you, bowling gods.
You can't adjust off
so
of
those
bad
2,
shot.
one I would probably move 1-1 left, one I'd probably move 3 and 2 left.
Yeah.
2 same leave, but 2 completely different moves. I have to see it to do
Need
that.
more context to be able to answer that.
I need to know where you slid and what you hit, and then what you left and where you slide and where you hit. You tell me the result, I can give you the move.
Yeah.
That's easy.
So pay attention to how and why you're leaving.
Yeah, was it really through the? I threw it good. That went high really quick. Man, that was really good. How did that go high? Smaller move. Right.
I try to make sure for me, and I don't know if this is probably how everybody should adjust if they don't know anything about transition and adjusting, but I try to make smaller moves in the beginning because that way I at least know if I need to move back or what's going on. So if
transition is such a big thing now because there's so much carry down with the balls. The back ends get tighter, the fronts hook early. I get all that, what type of ball you're using. So transition is a much more fluid thing as you bowl now than say, when I bowled like 10 years ago, transition, I pretty much had it down to certain frames in my mind. I always moved in. I kind of always moved at a certain time. But a lot of times transition is just paying attention.
Exactly.
Guys on my team, I was always high average in my league or Orange County, whatever I bowled with. I only had 1 ball.
Yeah.
I didn't switch balls. I'd made that easy. I threw a magic touch for 7 years. And I averaged 235 every year with it. It's no big deal.
Would you recommend people moving their feet and their eyes at the same time?
I never move my feet. I never move my feet and not move my eyes. I don't ever move my feet. There's a ton of hold. If you bowl somewhere you can't go high, then you can start making the 1 and 0 right, leave a flat 10. I move my feet 1 right or 2 right, maybe my eyes just a half. You got to have a lot of hold not to move it. You move your eyes, or there has to be no hold at all, and I got to get it to 3, 4, 5, a little farther right. That's very rarely in league. I might move my feet 2 or 3 left, but not move my front target. So I'm changing my angles in the front to get it dead right early. So that would be like on a short pattern. When you have the transition, you got to switch from urethane to something else.
Yeah.
Then you might move your feet, not your eyes. Yeah, but the adjusting thing is so the guys on my team, I'd always like, how did you know to move? Like, well, the 4 guys on the other team all went to the nose, and the 3 guys on my team all left the 4-6. I just wasn't going to confirm it. So why? I said, because I can make the 2-pin. So if I move too soon and I 2-pin, not a hard spare. I never got very good at making that 4-6. I made it once. But I see that all the time, and like, okay, it's just kind of just randomly in a frame, the lanes break down. That's just how it is. And there's no set time and all that good stuff. So that would be, I think, the easiest way.
Feedback, pay attention.
I was always into that.
Yeah. I like the idea of telling people, though, don't just move your feet and not your eyes. If you're going to move your feet one,
I tend to, if the lanes
same.
get tighter and I move right, I tend to move parallel, the same amount my feet and my eyes. Once I get past 10, 11, the demarcation line for me, though, a lane's outside and inside, right of 10 is outside, left of 10 is inside. Once my feet are left of 20, my target's left of 10 and a half. I'd always move my feet in a kind of a ratio 2-to-1 or 3-to-2.
Yep.
4 and 2, those kind of things.
That's good.
Very rarely when I was playing 12, I couldn't move my feet and my eyes parallel to 15 with my feet only moving 2, my eyes moving 2, because my ball would never get to the right down lane. You would leave a lot of flat 10s.
Exactly. Got you. Okay. One question on keeping your head up and staying high is, how do you link your approach steps to your release steps? It feels like if you stay high until your release steps, it's difficult to carry or generate momentum from your first 2 or 3 steps into your last 2 steps as you get low enough to release the ball by your ankle.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of pros that are good at it. I mean, none of them bend their knees the first 2 steps. Something has to stabilize your shoulder. Second step stays tall. It's a swing.
Yeah.
Well, a swing's a fulcrum or a swing set. You can't push the kid out and have the bar drop and expect to swing. So I don't believe in getting low in the first 2 steps at all.
Yeah.
I mean, Prather, or Dave Husted, or Andrew Anderson, or Tommy Jones, or Chris Barnes, or Jason Belmonte, none of them bend their knee in their second step. They all pretty straight. What happens is when the ball gets to the top of their swing and they get ready to get to on their pivot step, they all drop their hips once. And then they slide and stay level, what I call moving the air forward. That way you create a flat spot. That's how I do it. And in today's game, there isn't a lot of knee bend needed. You need some knee flex.
True.
Because now, people all the time tell me, oh no, you need more knee bend. You need to get as low as you can. Here's how I'd answer that question. This will not be popular. So, if somebody walked in my door and said, Coach, I average 250, I strike too much. They're going to kick me out of every league I bowl because I'm just too damn good. Teach me how to get 9 more often, and I want to lead the league in flat 10s. You know what I'd say? Get more knee bend. Get lower. A lot of knee bend creates 2 things, slow ball speed and early roll. Nobody's walked through that door for those 2 things yet. The best bowlers have some knee flex. They don't get as low. Why? Because the balls we're throwing today aren't the same balls we threw in the 70s. You go, Coach, I watched the video of you. You got really low, but I threw a ball with a 3-ounce core. Now you guys are throwing balls with, I think they're 5-pound cores. That's an 80-ounce core. There's something making that bad boy change direction at 45 feet that I didn't have. You know what I had? Getting low, my legs and this forearm made my ball hook at 45 feet. Now the ball comes with a hook rating. They're giving you hook. Now your job is to manage where it hooks and when it hooks. So what is the biggest complaint when bowlers have? I got to game 2, the heads went away. No matter what I did, the ball hooks at my feet. It's hooking at my toes. Well, if you have a lot of knee bend and you get lower, it's going to hook before your toes.
Exactly.
So the tip doesn't apply as well to today's game. I'm not trying to be contrary. I'm just saying take the integers that you're giving me, and I know what the result you want. I struck all my life. Wasn't a very good spare shooter. Bowled on TV a little bit. So I had to strike a little bit because I wasn't good at spares. I understand striking. But getting the ball down early, that's why I draw the lines on my lane. I don't think that's how the ball wants to roll. And I get told I'm wrong all the time, but that's why there's more than one coach in the world.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Question.
So back to the original
Go
question.
ahead, go ahead.
Tall, the ball goes by, you drop your hips, you stay level, you create a flat spot. Your hips can't go down as you slide to create a flat spot. Your hips stabilize your shoulder. If your hips are here and your shoulder's here, the ball swings like a pendulum. Right. So, I mean, grandfather clocks don't bend their knees much either.
Yeah, true. That's a very, very good point.
So I'm saying, I'm not a big believer in a lot of knee bend. Bill O'Neill has perfect knee bend. Tackett kind of gets a little bit, comes up out of it. Belmo has just enough knee bend. You know, the guy, they're always going to the same person. Parker Bone had tremendous knee bend. He was the best. he doesn't have as much low as he did then, and now he's not really dominating the men's tour either. I wouldn't want to bowl him on the senior tour. I wouldn't want to bowl him at all. He's always had my number. I never beat Parker very often. He was always the worst one to bowl because he was so damn nice.
Yeah.
Even if you went Brooklyn, Parker shook your hand. I'll get you next time. What a nice guy.
Not you.
No, I'd be throwing. I came from the Marshall Holman thing. If you went Brooklyn, I could throw the pencil at you or wad up your score card and throw it away or something. No, I never did that.
Great. Very last question. How do you set up to prevent sliding into your target?
You know, I never did. That's a great question because when I bowled juniors, every single coach told me, stand on 25 and slide on 20. And I said, I don't want to do that. Why? I said, because Mark Roth and Marshall Holman don't. They walk left. Well, those guys aren't like, that's like you're saying Jerry West has a bad jump shot.
Yeah.
He's on TV. He's the one they always use to give the ball to with all the money. You know the last dribble is going to be hard. He's going up, and it was the same jump shot. If you watch it now on YouTube, it's still a pretty legit jump shot. Any different, Ray Allen or Steph Curry, the three best.
I was going to say,
there's three guys.
In my mind, I was thinking you're going to say Jerry West, although they should know who that is with the jersey behind you on top of it.
So I'm a Jerry West fan, but I also thought Ray
Steph
Allen.
Curry and
I thought Ray Allen had, and Steph Curry just has the quickest and everything. So Mark Roth and Marshall Holman walk left. So I said, well, I'm not going to do that. And they all told me I was never going to be a very good bowler, but down the road they had to pay to watch me bowl, so it worked out. I've never walked right. I tried to walk straighter in 1987, the summer break, because that year was the year we played out. Brian Voss was bowl of the year. He drifted a little bit right. Walter Ray, Dave Ferraro, David Ozio, and Randy Pedersen were probably the best 5 right-handers on tour that year. And we played a lot of shots where there was like 1, 2, 3 was out of bounds, 4 through 7 hooked, 8 through 10 was hold, and the left of the lane just was no good.
Yeah.
Just dead hooked. Worst year I ever had on tours that year. And I could see it, and I could draw the funnel, and I could see where they were playing, and I could know sooner because I walked left, so I would go 2-8-10, 3-bagger, 2-8-10, 3-bagger, 2-8-10. And then Dave would shoot 250 and just snicker at me, either Ozio or Ferraro.
Hilarious.
So I could see it. So those guys all walked fairly straight or a little bit right. So I spent an entire summer, 90 days, trying to learn to walk right. I ended up getting where I could walk 0, and all I did was lower my average 30 pins.
Damn.
So people that drift right, I mean, it's a thing I try to teach. Try to slide. I always want to slide, you want to slide left of your head a little bit.
Yeah.
Your head's slightly right of your slide. So if you're sliding back under your head, you tend to slide right. Most bowlers, when they get done, if you look in the camera, their chin is about anywhere from 6 to 12 to 14 inches to the right of their slide knee. So when they're done, they look like this.
Yeah.
So if you slide into your thing, you get here and your knees under your chin. But that actually opens your hips up quite a bit. So when I slide, my head was slightly right, so the ball's under my head. The ball can't be under your head if your head's on top of your knee.
Got you.
So I'd always, the people that do drift right, now a lot of times in giving a lesson, what I'll do is I'll walk up with them, put my hand on their shoulder, and I'll see where they drift. It's usually in their pivot step. And I kind of shove them back. The next thing you know, hey, my hand didn't come over the top because you didn't slide into your target line.
Exactly.
When you slide into your swing, you're only going to hit your ankle once. And that stings really, really, really bad.
Yeah.
So people that tend to drift right, I try to get them to slide straight or slide left of your head or try to walk straighter. That's a tricky one. I mean, I never did it, but I deal with it all the time.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you as always. I'm sure our viewers out there, hopefully you got some of your questions answered, guys.
Hopefully I actually answered the question.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys don't show up and I go off and I got all this stuff in my head. I got to get out of there.
Hey, this is great, though. I think everybody enjoys hearing Mark's thoughts.
I hope I answered your questions. You guys are great. You stop me everywhere I go. I know you guys love this stuff, so I will. Pistol Pete's been hammering me for an hour before we started today. I think we got some ideas. 2026, we may have some more content.
We definitely do. It's on the way, guys, and we appreciate you. Keep on sending those questions in. Until next time, make sure you visit markbakerbowling.com. Get your lessons. He's available, and I won't say he's single, but he's definitely available.
No, I'm happily married, 20 years. Hi, Shannon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That was awesome.
Clean up crew. What you gonna do is the clean up crew. Come on through to the clean up crew. Throw them balls, I hope you do with the clean up crew. The clean up crew.
What's up, crew? It's Rich TV here, and if you or a brand that you may know are interested in sponsoring any of our videos on this channel, make sure you reach out to us, cleanupcrewbowling@gmail.com. We would love to have you. We have some spots open, and we want to continue to grow this game of bowling that we all love. So if that's you or a brand that you know, feel free to reach out to us. We do have sponsorship slots available. It can be per video, it can be a package. We're open to it. So just reach out, and see you guys soon. Until next time, shout out to the crew.